If you're a brand new real estate agent, I believe that your business doesn't fail in year three. Your first 90 days can really make or break your career. And the reason has nothing to do with market conditions, lead generations, or whether or not your brokerage gives you free coffee. Today, I'm rewinding the clock and telling you exactly what I would do on day one as a brand new agent. So you can build a real sustainable business instead of wandering around wondering why no one will ever call you back. Now, to say I've been there is an understatement. I first started my career in a major urban center. 2 years later, I had to move my entire business with my family to a rural part of Ontario and was fortunate enough to be able to take things I learned from starting the first time and apply them the second time with much more confidence. So something I find that most new agents are told at the very beginning is go get leads. Post on Instagram, call expired listings, door knock, buy ads. Here's the truth. Yes, lead generation is a component business, but this is not a lead generation business. It is a relationship business. And here's the kicker. Whether or not they're in your market, you probably already know 150 to 300 people by name when you're walking down the street. The problem here is most people don't organize them, they don't stay in touch, and they don't build and nurture those relationships. So the very first thing we have to do on day one is build a system that manages those relationships. So the first thing we need to do on day one is literally just write out a list of every single person you know so that we can start to build and manage those relationships. And that's where the second thing that I would do as a brand new agent comes into play, which is build your tech stack. Now, this sounds fancy. Let me promise you it's not. You don't need 47 different apps. In my opinion, you need 3, and 2 out of the 3 should not cost you anything. Now, the one that might cost you something might also be included with your brokerage is something called a CRM, or some kind of client relationship management tool. Now, there is no shortage of them for real estate. I personally use Follow Up Boss, but there are tons. HubSpot, KV Core, Wise Agent. Your brokerage may have one built in already. What's most important about your CRM isn't which brand it actually is, it's which one are you actually going to use. Because yes, every CRM is going to have its strengths and advantages. Every CRM is going to have certain setbacks. At the end of the day, it's about finding one that actually works for you. And then once you actually have that CRM, it's taking that list of people that we've made in the first section and actually inputting every single one of them into that software. It is time consuming. It's not fun, but hey, throw on a good song and you'll be there in no time. The second piece of software I 10 out of 10 recommend you get is some kind of calendar system, whether it's iCal, Outlook, Google Calendar, and really any kind of calendar where you can track your personal life, your work life, your appointments, your showings, your everything. Make sure it's written down because it is very easy to double book yourself in this business. But not only that, further down the road when you're busier than you can be, you really want to be able to protect certain pockets of time so that you can have some work-life balance. And if you practice using your calendar, even when you feel like you don't need it right at the very beginning of your career, it will pay off tenfold down the road. The third piece of software, and I'm going to use the term software lightly here, that I would recommend you use is some sort of task manager. Now, some CRMs have this built in where you can create tasks and set them for a certain date and check them off as you do them. You could just as easily use a notepad, a sticky note, the Notes app on your phone. What's most important here is your to-do list is going to get bigger and bigger the further and further you get into your career. And without having somewhere to park those thoughts, they will ruminate over and over and over again through your head and slowly drive you crazy. What I would suggest you do is have a system where you can park it and forget about it until you need to do it. Again, it might seem redundant at the very beginning, but build these habits early and it will pay off. Trust me. Now that we have these people in our database, we have a way to organize them, we want to come up with a plan to nurture these relationships. Whether that's emailing them a newsletter once a month, maybe you're sending them a birthday card on their birthday. Maybe once or twice a year, you're sending them listings that have sold in their neighborhood. What you really want to do is remind them you exist, but ultimately provide value. Things you would want to know if you were a homeowner. What I really encourage people to avoid is asking for the business. If you're calling up every single one of these people saying, hey, I just got my real estate license. Are you looking to buy or sell, or know anyone who's looking to buy or sell? That's going to drive people away very quickly. Instead, every single person you've just put in your database, what I would encourage you to do is reach out to them. If you're a texter, text them. If you're somebody who likes to talk on the phone, give them a call and just say, hey, I just wanted to let you know that I've recently gotten my real estate license. I'm working at this brokerage. If ever you have any questions about real estate or want to know what's happening in the market, I'm happy to be a resource for you. Other than that, how are the kids? How's your family? How's your daughter's gymnastics tournament? Connect with people. Take an interest in what they're doing. And then before you end the call, just say, hey, I would love to keep you in the loop. Do you mind if I send you an email every so often with some real estate information? Now you have consent to keep them in your database. You've further built a relationship by asking them questions about them. And now you potentially have an advocate for you and your business. If you give them a weird sales pitch, you're going to get weird results. Now, after we've talked to all these people, we want to make sure our touch points for the year are planned. Now, in your first year, I'd probably aim to have somewhere between 8 and 12 touch points, maybe a few more, maybe a few less, depending on your personal style. But you want to make sure that it's written down somewhere what you're going to do throughout the year to maintain these relationships. And then after it's written down, where the real work comes in is actually doing it. Consistency builds trust. Trust builds referrals, and referrals turns into deals. So in the first 90 days of your real estate career, don't chase buyers, don't chase sellers, don't chase leads. What you want to be doing is having as many conversations about real estate as possible with as many people as you can. Often when you're calling the database, have some stats in your back pocket. Know what the average sale price has been in the area. Have a fun fact that you can share about the real estate market right now with those people that you're talking to. Trust me, it will go a long way in establishing your expertise and positioning you as an authority figure in your market with those people. If you're a brand new agent, my goal is simple: to show you how to build a real sustainable business and not just chase lead generation. If you're considering getting your real estate license and you want some resources to help you hit the ground running, I'm in the very early stages of creating a community, but the first thing you can do is book a one-to-one call with me. And I would love to connect with you and get to know what your goals are and how we can help make them happen. The link is in the description of this video. My name is Ben Robitaille. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one.